This is my handy dandy Halloween, as you can see. I'm gonna tell you future. Your future looks like, yeah, I got this last year. I think at like Hobby Lobby or somebody. On a good sale, so anyway. Do not take it seriously, but as you can see, welcome back. This is, ew, I'm crooked, I'm sorry. Am I crooked? Oh my gosh. Okay, welcome back to my podcast. This is officially the official episode 7 because, oh wait, yeah, it's Sweet with a Twist, and I am your host, Skylar here. The reason why I changed it is because I realized that my podcast is going up on Halloween. You see what I'm saying? In the podcast I had schedules for it, it just wasn't Halloween, you know? So I said, why not vibe and do a Halloween inspired one, because I do have some interesting stories about spirits, about some real paranormal activity. Okay. Okay, so I have my iPad here. I don't really need it. I'm gonna leave this up here so you guys can see it. Hopefully this doesn't follow me, but yeah, so I wanted to talk about that, and none of this is, let me put in prefaces, I have never ever done witchcraft. I've never done on a Ouija board. I've never gone to a palm reader. I've never gone to a medium. I've never intended to ever awaken spirits and talk to ghosts, okay? Because I am a Christian and I do believe in God, and that goes against my religion. So I've never done that. So I want to say that before I get into these stories. Get your facts straight, okay? I've never done that and don't intend to. But I've done some things, or been a part of some things that did involve some paranormal activity. So we're gonna start there, okay? So the first one that I want to talk about is where was in middle school. I think I was in 7th or 8th grade. I can't really remember, but I was in middle school, and this was around 2012, 2013, I think. So y'all guys remember the game where it was, what was it called? It was 4, like literally you had a piece of paper and you divided it into 4 sections. You had yes, no, no, yes. And you put the 2 pencils, you put one pencil vertically and then you put the other pencil horizontally. So go like this, the pencils. And I forgot the game, but basically I was involved in this game, and it was all over Twitter, kids playing it at their school, some saying it was real, some saying it was fake. Unfortunately, we were the table in our advisory class, because there was like no one in our advisory class, so like they were like, okay, let's play that game, let's see if it's real or not. Yeah, it was very much real. It was real, guys. We would ask it, or did I ask it questions? I don't know if I did, but I remember the other kids asked it questions, and the pencil did move by itself. Like, I'm not lying, it moved. And then after that, we heard like noises, and it just got too much. The pencil, if I could contact the other kids that were involved in this, I would totally do that and ask them, hey, did the pencil really move when we played that game? And it did. And I was like, no, we gotta stop playing this. Like, y'all guys gotta stop. Get this out of here. So that was very interesting. Like I said, I've never initiated that type of stuff. I never have. But I have been there for it, and not so proud of that, but you know, being a kid, being curious, and nothing else to do in that class. So then, what else happened? So then, after that, I just like was like, I'm never gonna entertain something like that ever again. And then y'all guys, the next time I think I kind of like encountered something was, y'all guys remember what was the game? Say Bloody Mary. That came out like when we were in elementary. I mean, it's been out for decades before I was born, but y'all guys remember Bloody Mary, and you say her name 3 times in the dark, in the mirror. Girl, yes. I didn't do it. It was someone else did it, and I happened to be in the restroom, the school restroom, with this girl, and she said it 3 times. And I said, what are you doing? Like, I don't play that. Like, what are you doing? And we were both in high school. And I was like, do not do that, because I did it in elementary, and that's no joke. Like, something happened that day, and it just like changed. It was like a door open or closed by itself. You would hear voices. Like, I think I heard her after my friend said her name 3 times. I was like, what are you doing? I told her I don't play that. I said, no, I'm leaving. I left the restroom, and she basically was like laughing. So I said, you know, that's real, right? Like, that stuff really happens. And I was like, yeah, I'm done. I'm good. You can have it. You can have it, please. Please. I would never. So then that happened, and I was just different. I moved on. Okay, whatever. And then what else happened? Okay, so I was in high school. Okay. Another thing in high school is that in my high school, back in the 80s, I think, there was this boy, I forgot his name, but back in the 80s, who committed who basically like killed himself. And it was in a classroom at the school, and he shot himself in the head. Talk about decades later. I was in my Spanish 2 class, so I was a sophomore in high school, and that very classroom had the bullet hole still in the wall from the 80s where the boy had shot himself. And I remember people were saying that classroom was like haunted just because what happened. And I'm not gonna lie, I felt like that classroom had a spirit in there. And no, I'm not like, ooh, but I know that spirits are real. I know that ghosts are real. I know that paranormal is real. I know that curses are real, demons are real, death. Like, I know. But I'm not gonna lie, that classroom never sat right with me. It was always like things coming up missing. I felt like it was other beings in there. It was just it was weird. It creeped me out, the fact that I was in the very classroom where the boy had did that, and the bullet hole was literally still in the wall. I mean, you're talking about like, what is this? Like, why didn't they cover that up? No. And then I think at one point in my Spanish class, we had these headphones where you could record yourself. Like if we had like speech tests and stuff, we would use the headphones and it would record whatever we said, and it would send it to the teacher, and then she would listen to it and grade it. And I think I remember this one time I had taken it, and after I had finished my speech test and sent the audio, like I was finished recording, I felt like I heard an extra voice. Because I remember I would always be like looking around to see if other people heard that, or and I don't know, one time I heard a voice, like after my recording, and I heard a voice behind mine, and I was like, and I knew it wasn't my teacher's, so it just really creeped me out. I did not like that classroom, period. Then I think I could speak on this, but when my grandmother passed away 2 years ago, mind you, 2 years prior, she had been living with us, and I was her caregiver at the time. And she slept in my very bed I still have, and she slept on that side because this side of the bed was, closest to the door. And so I sleep on the side that's closest to my door. So she had slept in my room, my bed, and I remember when we came back after her funeral and stuff, which I think we had been gone for about like 2.5 weeks, and we came back here, back home, because it was out of state. I remember feeling and like hearing her voice even when we moved here, I feel like I'm more aware of extra noises, extra like voices, and I feel like I'm going crazy. But I remember one time at the previous house, I literally heard her voice. And and then I also thought I had saw her in my room, standing in the corner. And you know, there's like this tale about, I don't know, I guess the woman standing in the corner, you know, at night in the dark. I thought I saw a figure. I'm not even joking. And that place in itself had random noises. We had a 3-bedroom place before this. This is a 2-bed, but our 3-bedroom, our 3rd bedroom, which is our spare bedroom, had the French doors, or you know. And I remember, this is why we kept them closed. But a few times we would have the doors like cracked, like one of the doors cracked open, and it would just be pitch dark. Like you would look in that room and it was just pitch dark. It was creepy. One day, no one's even over there. No one's even near that bedroom. But we hear this like noise, like loud noise. And I think it was my mom and I were at the house at the time, and like we looked at each other and we were like, what was that? And I was like, I don't know. I don't see anything like that fell off the wall, that, you know, fell over. Like, what was that? I kid you not. We are looking, okay, whatever. We go to, wow, okay. We go to the 3rd bedroom. And, bro, basically, something jumped off the shelf. Like, literally, like, on the top of the bookshelf. And I was like, and then when I was a caregiver to my grandmother, mind you, she was sleeping in my bedroom. I had to sleep in that room, and I did not like it at all, because we had a spare twin size bed in there, and I did not like it. It gave me the absolute creeps. And a lot of just weird stuff happened. Like the door would close by itself. Yeah, it was just not it. And then let's see if I have any more. I'm trying to think if I have any from my college times before COVID hit. And honestly, nothing's coming up. And honestly, nothing's like coming up. I don't know, I feel like it was just creepy vibes at my college, but nothing that was like, oh my gosh. You hear stories, but actually, no, I don't think I have anything, honestly. Like the elevators were horrible. Like we would partially get stuck in the elevators, or the elevator would like shake. But nothing. I don't think that was like spirits or any paranormal activity. Yeah, like that's about it, I think. So if y'all guys enjoyed this episode, thank you. I hope you did, because Halloween is here, so happy Halloween. What are you doing for Halloween? I'm not doing anything, but yeah, hopefully y'all guys stay away from Ouija boards and paranormal activity. Like, don't invite anything to your front door. Don't invite anything in your spirit. Please do not. If you're gonna dress up with a costume, do that, but don't invite anything. But I will see y'all guys in my next episode, so stay tuned for that. Bye, guys.